Small business says the next 3 to 6 months will be critical to see how many actually survive, in particular in an inflation world, a high inflation world, and also post-COVID. There's a warning with nearly half of small businesses not making a profit, and even more dire figures when it comes to the salary the owners are earning. Joining me now is Cosbo CEO Luke Actestrat. Thank you very much for your time. So how dire is it, and what types of businesses in particular, because I'm sure not all of them are this bad, but what types are struggling the most to hang on?
Yeah, thanks very much, Tom. Great to be here. And look, you're absolutely right. We've got over 2 million small businesses in Australia. They are quite diverse. They don't all look the same in terms of their sector, in terms of their way about going about things. What they do have in common at the moment is this perfect storm of cost pressure. So labour costs, wage costs, obviously the 12 increases to interest rates as well, but also maybe more subtle things like insurance premiums, some of those sort of behind the scene costs as well that are really creating a bit of a crunch for them and really eroding that ability to be profitable. Look, in terms of per sector, I think, it'd be unfair for me to sort of call out particular sectors who are struggling, but certainly the more sort of labour intensive, kind of wage intensive industries, hospitality, food services, if 40 or 45% of your overall operating costs are wage costs, that can be a very difficult environment to operate in. So you think about sort of, the penalty rate discussion we've had recently, you think about the acute labour shortages we have, when unemployment hit 3.5%, it surprised many economists, but it did not shock any small business operator out there. So look, we're seeing some good resilience in terms of revenue growth amongst both sort of small, micro and medium-sized businesses, but this sort of wall, this sort of avalanche of costs, particularly labour costs and compliance costs, really making it difficult for small businesses to turn a profit. And as I say, the next 3 to 6 months will be really critical to get us through that window and to really get through the financial year.
Yeah, I remember driving past a steakhouse the other day and just thinking, is anyone really going for a steak at the moment with inflation, not to mention what that would cost? I imagine as a broader point, though, anyone that relies on office workers must be struggling. There's nowhere where office workers have returned to the same number. I know you're calling for some sort of shorter-term rental assistance from the government, but is it a longer-term problem than that what that retail space used to be worth just isn't the same, and yet the person that owns it is paying more on their loan, perhaps? So you've got a double whammy there.
Yeah, look, it's a really interesting point, Tom. I think coming out the back of COVID, you're finally starting to see, the Financial Review and other papers have covered it, the sort of reset in values, that sort of reset in commercial values. I think in the office market, you've seen that kind of flight to premium quality office space, that sort of the A-grade office space is sort of, rearing its head as the sort of main sort of product moving forward. So certainly foot traffic makes a really big impact. Cafes who are sort of anchored in office buildings are really reliant on that sort of custom, that daily routine of that office, of that workforce. And so if, workers are coming in 2 or 3 days a week as opposed to 5 days a week, well, that's a pretty big hit in revenue. So I think in terms of what can we do moving forward, I think we're just wanting to see, close relationships between landlords and tenants. I think it's worth, tipping the cap to a lot of landlords out there who have already provided a lot of relief. It's only in their interest for their tenants to survive, but just making sure there's that understanding that the next 3 to 6 months is really critical. You've got various state-based small business commissioners who are, issuing guidance to small businesses on what are their rights, making sure they're very clear about, end of lease discussions and things of that nature. So really, we just need to pull every lever we have at the moment. We don't want to be in a situation where in the early new year, you've just got so many for lease signs in what should be, pretty prime foot traffic or prime sort of spots in not just in our Sydney CBD here in Sydney, but also Parramatta, Liverpool, and in our regional areas as well. So I'm not sure where that lovely steakhouse of yours was, but certainly this is a problem that is manifesting at the local level as well. So your local strip of shops, they're not immune from soaring costs and rising costs as well. So profitability is a big challenge at the moment, and cash is king for small businesses as well. Their shareholders aren't typically big institutions or big superannuation funds, so every small inch really adds up in this operating environment at the moment, Tom.
Yeah, I guess, and longer term, people want to know maybe there ends up being fewer shops in some of those previous office areas, because if you have more people, then they go to the existing ones. I'm not sure exactly what happens. We will see. Luke Actestrat, thanks for your time.